Mark Megan's Weekly Roast. Proudly supported by Cialis for Men. Struggling with erectile dysfunction? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Cialis for Men 10mg film-coated tablets, which contains tadalafil, is now available without prescription. Just a quick, discreet chat with your pharmacist, in person or online, can help. Find it at pharmacies nationwide or visit www.cialisformen.ie for more details. To be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity. Always read the label. GoLoud.
Welcome back to the Weekly Roast. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? Guys, Mark Megan's Weekly Roast is proudly brought to you by Cialis for Men, helping you get and keep an erection whenever you need it. I'm so happy to be working with a brand that'll help men, not just with their erections, but in realising that there's nothing to be embarrassed about. Nearly 3 in 10 males have experienced ED, but only 1 in 4 are comfortable discussing it. Let's change that. Cialis for Men is now available without prescription from pharmacies nationwide. All it takes is a quick chat with your pharmacist and you're off to the races, to be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity. Contains tadalafil. Always read the label. Yeah?
Brilliant.
Do you get
Where
the
did that
hidden
come from?
messages? Do you get the hidden reveal? We're going to Cork, baby. Welcome back to the Weekly
Brilliant.
Roast.
I was like, where is this going?
How's it going, guys? That's the news. The news is good stuff. I'm taking the Good Stuff show on the road with my man, Mystery Mick, packed in the back, full of banter and crack. We're taking the show on the road, and Good Stuff is coming to Cork. I know. I'm over the moon. I can't wait. After the shows in Dublin last week or 2 weeks ago, we really wanted to act fast and make it happen. So here's the details. If you are in Cork or, to be honest, the wider Munster area, I do want to do shows in Kerry, but it's probably going to be 2026 before that happens. So yes, if you are in Cork or Kerry or Limerick, by the way, or Waterford, essentially anywhere in Munster, or let's be honest, Connacht, Leinster, we don't want to ignore either. And Lord knows it would be far too political not to include Ulster in that little group. So if you want to come to the shows, September the 20th, only in a few weeks, they're going on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. Do me a favour. Please be there at 10 a.m. on Friday. Don't come away disappointed. It happened the last time where I sort of gave the time and then people missed it and they didn't get tickets and there was a bit of upset and the DMs. So if you're in Cork, let's go. This is my first ever time. I cannot wait.
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
Like,
Let's go. Let's go
indeed. As always, those little dulcet, jovial, jolly tones in the back are from my man, my sidekick, my friend, Mystery Mick.
Hello, Mark. Great to see you.
How are we, Michael?
I'm great. You're looking fantastic with the Iberian sun beating down on you.
We both know that I don't look fantastic because I've been on a carbohydrate binge for the last 2 weeks and I look like the Michelin mark. The eyes are puffier than no. I don't look great, but there's another reason why I don't look great.
Okay, do tell.
And it's not just the complete glutton. In a week, I'll be training for Cork. I'll be getting back onto I'll be getting off the gravy train, if anything. I'll be getting onto the regimented, structured diet train again. But I'm in Spain, okay?
How's it going?
Muy bien.
Yourself?
Aquí, yo soy Mark. It's going fine now, right?
Yeah.
To say the beginning of this holiday was a literal Jet 2 holiday. Now, I have to choose.
Tell us.
I have to choose my words carefully because I still have a very angry wife who is in the circumference of this apartment block, right?
Yeah.
So we were in London for a wedding. Absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous weekend, beautiful, all the rest. This is Darren's last time she can fly before the baby, okay?
Okay.
So we were like, we're going to go down. Her parents have a place here in La Cartuja. It's absolutely beautiful.
Lovely.
They said you can make use of the facilities for a few days. Fabulous. It's all coming up, Megan.
Mm-hmm.
We fly out of Stansted, which, let's be honest, in the roast of Tide people, it's fitting for me to say that we flew out of Stansted.
Is that why you were wearing the mask?
Genuinely. London Stansted on the August Bank holiday weekend is giving Firefest. It's day 4 of Electric Picnic. You know when those perverts are like still in the car park? There's always a few crusties and they're still trying to keep the tunes going, and the bongo drums and the sort of Thai elephant pants, and you're like, it's over, guys.
Diablos.
They're taking those zip line things down from the trees. You know those pervert hippie rope things? The slack lines. That's what stage of becoming a full crust is when you participate in slackline. Is that before the move to Bali and sort of, you know, or after? Nevertheless.
Yeah.
Stansted is a shit show, okay?
Okay.
But that's fine. We're flying Ryanair to Stansted, Malaga. I hit the jackpot of all jackpots, wherein we just had random seat selection. I'm in 29C, I think. So I don't have a seat in front of me. So I've got extra leg room, which is
unbelievable.
I'm 6'2" and I've got arthritis. So like that is a miracle for me. Yeah. Okay.
No, that's incredible. Yeah.
Darren was in the overhead.
She cried as she walked by it.
He was stuffed between the Samsonites and the buggies. I got some bubble wrap in the Sainsbury's in anyway. So I was like, this is amazing. I definitely celebrated far too soon. Definitely celebrate. My life is just a series of premature celebrations, and then, you know, so the flight over. We're talking Piccadilly line during a heat wave levels of temperature. It was probably 47 degrees. Pompeii. Oh, Mount Vesuvius, 49 AD, Bikram yoga. It was absolutely diabolical levels of temperature. Then you've got a sort of tribe of English holiday tourists that are like something out of the 1980s. You wouldn't say that this is their first time out of England. You'd probably say this is their first time out of their postcode. This is a species of individual that you smell and hear before you see. You know, all of the senses are offended first before you actually set sight on them. 2 of which were sitting beside me, arrived in. He had the sort of Essex DJ t-shirt. You know those like stupidly big t-shirts that DJs wear that go down to the knee?
Yeah, yeah.
And his missus was there. She had more work done than the Sistine Chapel, okay? And if she would have to bathe in white spirits for a fortnight, okay, before taking a gnome. Oh, good stuff. Just a slight interruption of critiquing a strange woman's face. Nevertheless, we're in bits. They hadn't paid for those seats. They had also gotten random, but she was up the front, he was down the back. He then started trying to maneuver other people around. And that set and flow, what can only be described as a complete shit show of musical chairs with other people getting more irate. It was all a disaster anyway. You're sweating then for 3 hours. The plane got delayed an hour on the runway. All the usual, you know, the trimming.
Standard slop, yeah.
Standard summer flight fare. I understand that.
Yeah. We
both get off the plane. And at this point, I know that Darren's like a little... It's one of those days where I don't want to say that I'm pushing it, but she's just getting a little... Her patience is wearing thin, okay? She's 7 months pregnant and, you know, it's a lot being around someone like me all the time. And I'm doing my best, but occasionally, you know... I can tell that the patience is wearing thin.
Yeah, I'm with you.
She has done the amazing thing of a few weeks before we booked when we booked this trip, she arranged the rental car for the week, which was just like unbelievably appreciated. She went ahead and did it, sorted, great. Europe car, fantastic. So we know that it's going to take a little bit of time, but Grant, we go down to the Europe car desk. Yeah, you have to enter in your number, then we'll call your number when we deal with you, Grant. We do that. Okay, so we get to the desk.
Okay.
Passport, driver's license, everything handed over. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, we've got your booking here. Yeah, grand. All of a sudden, the guy's face just changes from like friendly, jovial, Spanish, loco, not loco, that's loco.
You didn't have to add that.
Come on, Ace. He literally presses a button on his computer to turn it off and just goes, sorry, we won't be giving you a car this evening. You've been placed on a wash list. Goodbye.
Sorry?
Sorry? It's like, excuse me? Yes, you're on a watch list. Goodbye. It's like, sorry, hold on a second here. What do you mean we've been put on a watch list? You took our money last week for the car. I don't understand this, right? What do you mean? What? He's like, nothing to do with me. Call this number. It's nothing to do with us. Please move aside. I was like, I honestly don't understand this. And he's like, if you don't move aside, I'll be calling security.
Oh my God.
First and foremost, when you hear the word watch list, I'm thinking Jimmy Savile. Do you know what I mean?
I'm thinking like Al Qaeda.
That when I hear watch list, I'm thinking sordid internet searches that have been flagged by the FBI. I don't think Europe car. Do you know what I mean? So bear in mind, it's 10:30 now at night. It's just been, a small
hellacious day. Yeah.
Disasters and micro aggressions by the universe. And also bear in mind, my wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
And then she just turns to him and goes, what in God's name would somebody have done to have gotten on a watch list? And then the moment of recognition flickers across her face. Mark, did you end up paying for that parking ticket you got in France when we were traveling last year?
No.
To say the penny dropped. In terms of not being in someone's good books, I'm in a different library. Was Tracy Emin the artist who burned £1 million? I'm in book burning. This is like, by the time I'm even back in like level ground, we'll be in the airport on the way home. So,
oh my God.
So I've now been on the phone. Oh, by the way, I'm on the phone to Europe car all morning. They're like, sorry, you have to send the email. If you send the email to customer service at europcar.es, I was like, no, but they told me to call you. Yes, but what I am doing is I am explaining to you, if you send an email, it will take 3 to 17 working days. Oh, 3 to 17? Brilliant. and then the guy hung up on me this morning because at one point, no, actually it doesn't.
That's the line.
The best. Welcome back to the weekly roast on tight people. Now look, Michael, everybody knows a tight person. And I think, as always, we should be very, very clear, okay? Tight is an adjective indicating a person's character or behaviour, okay?
Yes.
This is about people's lack of generosity, aka meanness, stinginess, being miserable, ungenerous, or just generally unwilling to spend on their friends, okay? Tight, of course, is short for tight-fisted. We caveated the last podcast about tight people with this, and I feel like we should do the same, and that is to say that every contribution to today's podcast is about deriding tight people. This is not about making light of those without. Life is extraordinarily expensive for everyone at the moment. And at no point throughout today's podcast do the listeners of this show or the host of this show make light of that. So let's just be very, very clear, okay? However, Michael, I think you'll agree, tight people are everywhere.
Absolutely.
And it's a mentality like.
Totally. There's a stark difference between being like frugal or sensible with your money and being tight. And there's a very, very clear boundary line, I feel like, that we all know and understand.
Exactly. And let's be honest, everybody listening to this show today, you will all have encountered and probably are thinking, your mind will conjure up the image of a friend or a family member throughout this show with that, we all have that person in our lives who is just excessively tight. With the same inevitability of an online Irish comedian making a joke about something vomit-inducingly obvious and it receiving like 67 million views as a result, it's guaranteed to happen.
Oh, lads, wouldn't you be mad if Miggledy Higgins gave the presidency to me? I put myself forward as the...
Oh, you're putting yourself forward as the president. Brilliant. What an unbelievable gag.
Oh, no, the first issue will be, let's just have loads of bags of cans.
Brilliant. Shoot me in the face, please. Before we get to the voice notes, Michael, there are two characters that I do think that we should discuss in today's show, okay?
Okay.
So, I put up the box on Instagram as always, and somebody wrote back with this. Little brother gave one of my mom's bras to his girlfriend for her 21st. Like, I just need to talk.
Amazing.
Can we talk through the process of what went on there? This is straight from the book of Oedipus. Like, first things first, how did he know they were the same size? Oh,
what?
Like, did he notice it? Was he intimate with his girlfriend and went, feeling around, hold on, wait there. Like an archaeologist. You know when an archaeologist is on a dig, right? And they're like brushing around the sand and then all of a sudden, hold on, Winston? Wait there, nobody move. Oh, I think I've got something. Brush, torch, whatever. Was he getting intimate with his girlfriend as 21-year-olds do and then went, hold on, this breast feels like Mama's. This is Mama's Milka that I'm feeling. And then the frugality just kicks in and he goes, well, this is brilliant. For Christmas, I can give her one of Mum's boob holsters. Like, and then I also want to think about when he was looking for the mum's bra, right? Like,
yeah.
So he's sifting through his mother's bras and he wants to find one that is sort of like erotic enough that it's present worthy, but at the same time, not complete sex stuff because then his mum will notice that it's gone. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That it has an elegance where, yeah, I'm with you. So what was the decision-making process?
What was, when you're, like, at the end of the day, when you're rifling through your mum's bras,
you've lost.
You mean which one's going to look sexy enough? It's over. It's completely over. At this point, you may as well murder your dad and run off to somewhere in Greece with your mum and just go completely Oedipian on it because it's over.
Totally agree.
And then, like, does the girlfriend go, oh, this is... How does he present the bra? Does he wrap it? Like, do you know what I mean? Does he just hold it up by
just
the egg?
dangles it out there.
Like a peg on a washing line. You just go, there you are. Happy birthday.
When, like, you see in TVs and films, people propose and they're like, this was my grandmother's ring. Maybe he's kind of the same principle, This was my mother's brassiere.
Each of these has held my mother's breasts. And her breasts, like your breasts, give me life. Each nipple closer to my heart than the other. And it's completely... When did the sort of comparison go down? Like, were they on a family trip and he was like looking at his mum's breast and going, they look insanely like Granias. Do you know what I mean? Mum, can I get some Lay's crisps, please, and a Fanta? Hold on. Just bend down there for a second, Mum. Yeah. Grania, come over here for a second. Stand okay, you know the way people met, like,
go back
grannies,
to back.
Yeah, grannies measure, like, their grands. Oh, stand beside each other there. Let us get a good look at you. Mum, you wouldn't stand over beside Grania there, would you, for a second? No, just put your chest out. Okay, just take your bras off. Cheers. I'll be done in a minute. Okay, you think that's weird, Michael? Then I get this one.
Okay.
Now, I need to get your honest opinion on this, right?
All right, okay.
Mam's aunt, 91, is over once a week and has never once brought anything. Utter scum. Scum is so excessive. You can't.
Scum is a reach.
Utter scum.
Utter scum.
Also, 91. What are you expecting? Oh yeah, I got you the new version of Bop It and a micro scooter. Do you know what I mean? Like, she should be coming empty-handed. You guys should be. Maureen didn't bring anything after walking across the M50 to get to us for tea. Do you know what I mean? You should be bringing stuff to her.
No, at that age, you absolutely should. But I do think a pack of toffee pops goes a long way if you're calling over to someone's house.
At 91, you get away without the Mikados. I think at 91, you've earned your right to come in, as Claire Garrahy would say, with one arm longer than the other. Have you ever heard that?
Oh, yeah. My mum loves that as well.
What? Her bra, interestingly, and Kate's bra, it's very similar. Similar size milkers, nevertheless.
Brilliant.
So then she follows up with, just to say, Mark, she's at this year's, okay? Mm-hmm. Only ever talks about herself, too. 91. She only ever talks about herself, vain bimbo.
Oh, a bimbo now.
A bimbo at 91. What, is she on the B Blonde? Jerome Russell B Blonde for men? A bimbo at 91. Is she still as Goldilocks at 91? She must have the elixir. She must have discovered something that preserves youth, because good God, she's been sloping from the fountain of youth. Hold on. Only ever talks about herself. What else could she talk about? Fucking Dale Winton. Do you know what I mean? At 91.
Yeah, you've lost you've lost your place in the world there. You're doing your own thing at that stage.
She really let herself down with her knowledge on foreign policy. Do you know what I mean? She didn't single-handedly, conversationally solve the housing crisis over tea. Do you know what I mean? And when you say talk about yourself, how are you getting on, Maureen? Well, I've been feeling a little bit rusty. Oh, here we go.
Giving it all that.
Giving it, just rabbiting on. And Maureen, have you, since the fall now, oh no, it's not really the hip. It's, to be brutally honest, it's more my confidence. And, ever since Desmond, again with the Desmonds. If you brought a dammy Dodger, we'd forgive it, Maureen, but you're pathetic. Look at your Man United jersey's 3 years old. No? Don't know how that is.
Okay.
Anyway. Oh, guys, you're very welcome back to the Weekly Roast, the Spanish version. Do you speak Spanish, Michael?
No, unfortunately not.
Any languages?
No, I have a bit of French, but no.
How bad is a bit?
Like,
would you be communicating via French when you're going to Paris and squatting atop the national monuments?
Just had to get it in. Brilliant.
Literally,
yeah. No, I'll throw myself around pleasantries, a bit of small talk.
Okay, guys. Well, you're very, very welcome back to the Roast of Tight People. And thank you to all of the listeners each week for joining us on the Weekly Roast. And not only that, but stay tuned. This Friday, 10 a.m, tickets to Cork. The Good Stuff show coming to Cork, September the 20th, goes live. Please set your alarms. If you have any friends that want to go, send them a message now. Arrange for someone to be online at 10 a.m. on Friday morning when the tickets go live. One night only. Saturday, the 20th of September. We will be bringing good stuff to Cork. Right, without further ado, let's get into it. Micheál, on y va?
4 of us lived together in a house when we went to college in Dublin Forest, and one was like a friend of a friend kind of thing. Mothers knew each other, ended up living with each other. But anyway, she was really, really tight, and she used to keep her toilet roll in her bedroom in case we'd actually use anyhow for a toilet roll. But it was at the time where we used to go on a Sunday evening when we got back up and we'd rent a DVD from Extravision, and I think it was €4 at the time. And we'd say, look, let's rent a DVD. And she's like, no, I'm tired. She just goes to her room. But it was literally because she didn't want to spend the euro on the rental, because we'd all throw in €1 each. I know it sounds whatever, but anyway, when you're a student, that's just the way it was. But one evening she was like, oh, let's rent a DVD. And we were looking at each other going, what? Well, why does she want to rent a DVD? She never fucking spends the money. And she ripped out a €1 Eurovision voucher. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, every Sunday she used to come up and she'd have the bag of shopping that her mum has done to bring back up to Dublin, and she would not spend one penny from Monday to Friday until she went home again.
Okay, I'm going to begin with the curveball here.
Okay.
I'm on the girl's side.
What?
I think that this is very clear that this is somebody who just doesn't necessarily have the means. If somebody is bowing out of a movie, right?
Yeah.
Because it's €1 to watch it, and she's actually willing to sit in her room, I'd be going, don't be so daft. Pull up a pew. It's the new documentary on that girl who shagged 1,000 lads in an hour. Do you know what I mean? We need to discuss, well, we don't. Two white straight men in the studio definitely do not need to discuss prolific porn star activities. However, I do think that there should be across the board. Finn McRedmond, the journalist, wrote an amazing think piece for the Irish Times about this last week, wherein she really discussed just how sad that entire thing is from every perspective, male and female, whatever. You know, let's not get into the moral preaching this early on in the show. Either way, I think that this is indicative of a girl who doesn't have the means and might be under a really, really tight financial leash where literally every penny counts. I wouldn't, even if someone's been mean, I don't think I'd be able to watch somebody remove themselves from the settee and head into their bedroom to miss out on a movie because they don't have the euro to contribute.
I certainly agree with that. And I do think... you know, you've changed my perspective there. Maybe, you know, they were just kind of stepping back because they couldn't. But I would never let a friend sit by themselves while I enjoyed the movie.
The toilet paper in the bedroom is completely perverted.
Yeah. And
that's when unless you are sort of, you know, NCAD, purple hair, and you're doing some form of Bobby Sands memorial, do you know what I mean? For your final project, that probably will happen. There will be an Irish fashion designer that's just used toilet paper and it'll be influenced by Guinness and Bobby Sands. You know what I mean? And they'll be touted the biggest genius ever since Jonathan Anderson.
Yeah.
So toilet paper in the bedroom is completely perverted. I hope she's still using the loo.
Yeah, you would hope so. She's not doing everything in her bedroom.
If she's defecating into a Tesco bag for life and then sort of hanging it out the window like some sort of medieval London city centre chimney sweep, you know? Nevertheless.
So my friend's boyfriend, in his family, they only have the one toothbrush and they all share it because they feel that there's no need to buy any more than that, so they all share. And now that my friend is living with her boyfriend, he also feels there's no need to buy any toothbrush either. So my friend buys a toothbrush, uses it until she feels that she's finished with it, that's like worn out, and then will pass it on to him. And he will use it then until she's finished with her next toothbrush. So he's a bit tight with toothbrushes. Bye.
No, absolutely not. Just absolutely not across the board. He comes from a family of freaks. Get out now. Leave now while there's still time. If they're sharing one toothbrush between a family of 5, one can only assume that they're probably exchanging bodily fluids as well.
It's a big jump, but I don't know if I disagree.
They're likely sharing orifices as well.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No, but that is honestly, there's not a family that are sharing one toothbrush between 5. Come on.
If you're willing to share toothbrushes, though, what are you spending money on? Like, that's the most basic of amenities.
Porn, probably. But do they all sort of queue up like the Swiss Family Robson? Do you know what I mean? It's your turn for a go of the brush. Whose go of the Colgate is it? What happens when they reach teenage years? And it's like, Susan's disappeared to her bedroom. She's had the toothbrush for 45 minutes. I'll be back in a jiffy. Do you know what I mean?
I wonder, do they share toothpaste? Like, you know the way like mama birds feed baby birds? Just when they're done.
That is actually like past the polo.
Yeah.
That is utterly perverted. And no, like, sorry, this is for me is one of those ones where if you're in a relationship with somebody, if that happened, right, if you're like started seeing a guy and then you move in with him and you're like, oh, I've noticed there's no toothbrush in the bathroom, where is yours? And he was like, oh, I just don't think I need one. You'd have to have a sit down around the kitchen table with a cup of tea and go, what's going on here?
You pack your bags. You know what I mean? You absolutely get out of there.
Yeah, complete. No, this is too far-fetched. If it is, by the way, if they are doing this, I would say it's not because of tightness. It's because of something considerably more sordid and sinister.
I had a group of friends and they were from Cavan. And it's not to play into the Cavan stereotype. I'm not doing
There we
that.
go.
But two of the brothers would regularly shower together.
No, they would not.
I swear to God, I can get this verified by multiple sources. They used to shower together.
Why? And what do you mean shower together? And were there semis involved? Like,
I don't know.
Sometimes when you're showering, you accidentally get a semi. You know what I mean?
Hey, Mark, hope all is well. Love the podcast and the book. Over the last few years, I've been through really nice bits of escapism and outlets for myself, so thanks, keep up the good work. When it comes to tightness and meanness, I believe my sister-in-law takes the crown. She was always quite frugal growing up, would always be slow to get around. If we went out for a meal and she knew she wasn't paying herself and her partner, would always get the most expensive thing in the menu. Anyway, I digress. Since this return scheme has come in, she has had her mother and father basically put aside and collect and hoard all their empty bottles and cans into these big refuse bags. And basically once every few months, maybe once every 6 weeks, she drives an hour down the road to her parents' house to collect these bag loads of other people's trash, cans, bottles, etc. She's like a shitty version of Santa loading these sacks into the back of her car. Instead of gifts and toys in these bags, there's just cans of Sonora and bottles of water. It's just, yeah, it's sad. Recently enough, we were down at a little family trip at the seaside. Myself and my wife were there. We had a great time. We, at the end, decided to get a chipper and we got some cans of Coke with it. And when we finished our food, myself and my wife put our cans of Coke into the recycling bin. And we heard a wail from behind us of, "What are you doing? This is madness. That's 15 cents you've just thrown into the bin." The reaction we got off her, you'd swore she'd just seen a war crime. So yeah, that's it.
Gotta love the Cork accent.
You do.
That's a better Cork accent than me.
I'll be honest. I think your Cork accent at the start of the show was excellent.
I don't believe it. It's not that bad though, my Cork, I don't think.
No, like considering how, some of your other accents go, case in point, I was very impressed, I have to say.
Nevertheless, Tenora, nicest drink in Ireland.
So funny enough, given that we will be going to Cork next month, I should admit to you, I've never drank it, so we'll have to try some.
It truly is the nectar of the gods.
I know, you're
really
a big fan, yeah.
Right, sister-in-law. When you're driving an hour down the road, surely she's spending more money on petrol than she's getting back from the bottles.
Completely. I think it's the thrill of the chase, though.
But it's the obsession. You see, this is the thing with tight people, and I've said it before. Tight people, it's like an illness. It's like an internal cloak that they're permanently wearing. They can never escape. They are the prisoner, by the way.
Oh, totally.
Because they are imprisoned by the thought, the constant fear of somebody getting something more than them or them having to spend. Like, they are absolutely incarcerated by greed.
I totally agree. And I actually think you've hit the nail on the head there. I don't think it's necessarily always about saving money. I think it's about one-upmanship.
It's the fear that anybody let be the worst thing ever would be for them to be the fool.
Totally.
Jesus, why would I be spending the money on that? You must be some fucking... we all know people who, anytime you mention anything, geez, how much does that set you back? It doesn't matter, okay? This waterbed is a brilliant investment, okay? I really feel like I thought waterbeds would play a larger role in adult life than they've ever.
I completely agree.
Okay, this one is utterly bizarre, but our boiler broke down at home and we had to get the plumber out to fix it. He was here across a few different days because he had to go and get parts. And then about a week after he left, my mum was emptying the bins in the house and she realised that he had obviously gone to his van and went upstairs and dispersed all of his rubbish across the various bedrooms and bathrooms in our house. There was loads of bits of metal and like wrappers and anything really, but they definitely didn't come from our house. He had obviously taken them from other jobs and was too cheap to pay for getting rid of them himself.
Like, a dishonest tradesman? No. Surely not. That's just complete gone.
I think that's if that's the worst thing that you're getting when you have someone working on your house, that's not too bad though, in all honesty.
I don't understand how you call a plumber these days. It's like, oh yeah, I could come out. How would next March suit? Well, no, because the toilet has exploded yesterday, Keith. And no, I don't want to buy a dodgy box. Do you know what I mean? I just...
Okay, so my neighbour accidentally ran over our beloved dog, and was really sweet about it and took it straight to the vet, but the day after it had to be put down. And that was that. And then 2 years later, their dog got pregnant by the neighbour's dog, and they weren't happy about this. And she was saying to me, what am I going to do with all these puppies? So I was saying, well, maybe we would take one from you, And anyway, so near the time for them to be rehomed, there was, I think, 11 of them. And she said, are you still interested? So I said, yeah, maybe. So she sent me a big long message and said, yeah, so the puppies are €750 each. And yeah, we never took a dog, and we're still friends, and it is my greatest achievement that we're still friends.
Absolutely astonishing. Killed a friend. The double whammy.
I feel like if you
kill somebody's dog,
yeah,
it's game over.
Well, but like, how aren't you going out of your way to right that wrong by giving them a puppy?
There is no single way that somebody would be staying in my life if they reversed over my dog's face repeatedly.
Repeatedly.
that line of The Simpsons when Lionel Hutz goes, uh-oh, we drew Judge Snyder. Marge goes, is that bad? And he goes, well, let's just say I kind of ran over his dog, except replace the word kind of with repeatedly and dog with son. Like, first and foremost, if you do mill someone's puppy, right? If you mill someone's dog, straight away you're doing mouth to mouth, whatever it takes, okay?
Yeah, 100%.
Then I'd be paying for the dog to be stuffed, and I'd be buying a new dog within a week.
Totally.
I'd be like Temu, Amazon Prime, whatever the quickest delivery is of a new dog straight away at the doorstep. Because the only way to get over the death of a pet is to have a new one, I think.
I totally agree.
I think you have to distract your brain because the grief is actually too pronounced to confront. So you do need to just put your thinking on a different track, and bringing new life into your life is the only way to get through it. So she's killed a dog. She's bludgeoned the dog with a hammer, right? And then a few years later, she's got a litter of puppies and she decides to try and fleece the friend.
Now, can I ask, do you think, obviously there's a lot of costs in terms of like inoculations and getting microchipped. Do you think she was just looking for that to be covered, or do you think she was trying to make a quick buck?
Definitely a quick buck. She's clearly, the fact that the amends hadn't already been made, like this was a couple of years later.
Yeah.
How was she not drowning in a sea of canines? Completely preposterous. This is actually, of the ones we've received so far, this is actually tight.
Yeah, it is. Like, this is the worst example.
Guys, I hope you're enjoying the weekly roast. It is my favourite time of the week, even when I'm in bloody Spain. El Costa del Sol. It is still my favourite time of the week. Thank you so much to everybody for listening of late, by the way. I got an email on Friday morning before I headed to London to say from our executive producer that again in July we had broken a record. So previously May had been our most ever listeners in terms of growth, all the rest, and then June, and now July, and we have several thousand new people listening as well this month. So Thank you so much. It's great to have you with us. As always, if you want to get involved in the weekly roast, send me a DM on Instagram at MegaMark. Let me know what you want roasted next, okay? And we will go from there. Most importantly, if you're in the Munster region or anywhere in the world and you want to come see Mark Megan live, tickets to Good Stuff go on sale this Friday. And my man beside me, Mystery Mick, will also be in attendance coming down south to the real capital, etc., etc. So tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. DM me on Instagram if you want a link so you can reserve it in advance. Let's go.
Hi, Mark. A friend of mine, still my friend to this day, when we were about 14, 15 going to Wes, her mum would insist on collecting us and dropping us all home from Wes and would charge us all €5 per lift home. Bear in mind, they are the wealthiest family ever. But yeah, €5. Obviously, at the time, we just gave it, but I remember my friend being so embarrassed. But yeah, €5 per child.
Brilliant. So she's effectively charging them the same price as a normal Irish taxi driver.
Very good. Yeah, it's
All that's missing is the xenophobia and bad hygiene. Do you know what I mean? You can't. But like, it's completely outrageous to be charging children like that.
that's scandalous. And also, they're at an age where like their parents would just be giving them a fiver to like get a can of Coke. So she's just taking their pocket money. It's not as if they're earning money.
Sorry, when you were going to Wesley, you were buying a can of Coke. Which member of the famous Five are you?
Oh fuck! Oh,
Little Enid Blyton existed.
oh, sorry, I didn't have my Johnny
hello.
Blue and my naggin.
We went down to the local club for a dance. I met Timothy Spellman there. He bought me a glass of cherry pop and then he fingered me in the bushes. Do you know what I mean? Like, you completely... I caught the eyes of the girls from Chilton House, just the little town across the road. The DJ... There wasn't a DJ. There wouldn't have been a DJ. There would have been a show band of some sort. What sort of idealistic youth did you have where people are buying cherry pop at school dances? When we were kids at 7, going to Wesley was like the coming of age parade.
I know, yeah.
You go in completely naive, you've never seen breast, and you come out a sexual connoisseur. And you're like, yeah, there's at least 5 pairs of cans in there that are the same size as my mum's. That's my Christmas shopping done for the year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're
So-
right. You're right.
So yeah, a guy I used to know very well in college, when he would go to the canteen at lunchtime, and you know the canteens, and you get your board and your tray, and you go around to the deli section or the hot counter. Well, at the hot counter, you could get chips for €2, or you could get sausages and chips for €4. So he would get the sausages and chips, and before he got to the till, he would eat the sausages really, really quickly, so that when he got to the till, he only had to pay the €2 instead of paying for the sausages and chips. So, yeah, and he would do this at least once a week, just gobble the sausages in his mouth before he got to the till, and somehow they never noticed.
I think that's pretty good.
I mean, I think as a student, you're constantly looking to like save €1 here and there.
I feel like that's a university hack rather than indicative of somebody like as a lifestyle being a complete miserable bastard.
Yeah, I mean, let's be clear. It is theft. He's stealing, but
It's stealing, but you're stealing a watery old sausage from a canteen. It's creative. Do you know what I mean?
can you imagine, like, obviously, you know, when you're young in college, you're trying to look cool and, like, there's a girl you like, she walks by and you're just, like, gobbling sausage.
You're deep throating a Cumberland. I hate Cumberland sausages. One of the worst things about living in the UK ever, and nobody ever discussed it, is the disgrace, the genuine madness of their sausages.
Really?
It's impossible to get a normal sausage in London.
Is it?
Hiya, could I get some full Irish or full English, please? Yeah, no worries. Could I get a sausage? Oh yeah, could I just not have potpourri and fucking garden herbs in it?
They're mad for like
Applejack cinnamon cider sausages. I just want a greasy, phallic-like sausage. Give me something normal, like a Denny's or Clonakilty, which are the king of all sausages. What were your other... You went to university, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. Indeed.
What was the sloppiest thing that you would have done in university food-wise?
So I went to the Dicey's Carvery at least 4 times a week.
This is so insane. This is like, you remember whenever Chartbusters used to have tanning salad, or like a tanning bed in it?
Yeah.
And you drive by and you go, I wonder who's hit rock bottom in life to the extent that they're considering getting a spray tan in a video shop. And you'd always wonder, like, who are those people? Or like, who are those people that use the viewing booths in adult video stores? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's a little curtain. And you always wonder, what low would one have to stoop to before they feel like it's an appropriate decision to make? Going for a carvery at lunchtime in a nightclub is definitely up there. It's more perverted than receiving a lap dance in front of a family member. Like, that is... Talk me through the clientele. And were you all sort of hiding... You know the way people buy porn mags and news agents and they sort of wrap it in a newspaper? Were you doing something... Like, would you be hiding sort of Martin Cahill style, you know...
The hand over the face.
Hand over the face as you can go to... Don't forget the Yorkshires. And yeah, I've got my wristband from last night.
You won't believe this. This was the most popular lunch spot in Dublin at that time. The place was heaving. It used to be on wheels every single day.
So what? Talk me through. What was the vibe?
€5 carvery. They'd have a few other like slop. Do you know, like those hot trays of like curries and just like things that could probably last weeks. You could
They would survive a Chernobylese power plant.
Yeah.
Reactor.
Yeah.
They would outlive that. And probably more radioactive, let's be brutally honest.
Absolutely. So no, you would get a big plate of food for €5. And my little penchant was you could... The drinks that, you know, you would get in the evening time, you could get that day. So you used to be able to get like, you know, a €2 pint bottle of Bulmers with your carvery. So for a tenner, you could have like 2 pint bottles of Bulmers and a carvery. It was amazing.
But is this a rural Irish thing? Listeners will be able to tell me, is it a rural Irish thing to just throw in completely absurd ingredients with a really traditional Irish? They don't really seem to understand the sort of consistency when it comes to culinary like options. It's like, oh yeah, you know, curry sauce with a roast. It's absolutely bananas. I remember going down to Irish college and be like, all right, Nabuchale, after dinner we've made a lasagna. And you'd be like, oh, lovely, lasagna. And there'll be some pho as well. Pho, Vietnamese pho, Blonde. Why are we having noodles with lasagna? It's like, oh yeah, for Nabuchale Stiach na Kishin, for dinner we're having a leg of lamb. Lovely, leg of lamb. And there's a bit of garlic bread there and Cadbury's Millions. What? Millions aren't even made by Cadbury's. It's such a... Would you like some curry sauce with your roast in a nightclub? No, thanks.
That sounds like amazing.
Sounds like an intro to Keenan and Kel. Like, meet me at the nightclub with the curry sauce and the roast. Perverted. So you'd go in there very often. What sort of... Would it be generally, like... Would it be young men? Like, what's the... like?
Yeah, like your big consultancy firms would go in, like all the
No, they
grads would go...
wouldn't.
I promise you. I promise you.
Like Anton, who works in KPMG, isn't going down for 5 spuds, a plate of peas. Peas, by the way, just ludicrously overrated.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
The pea, if they can find a way to serve the pea as one, it's not worth... The reward is not worth the chase.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And then as for mushy peas, good luck.
Yeah, no, slop. Literal slop.
So, look, deep throat and sausages, I'm up for it. On y va.
So my neighbour is one of the worst people in the world, I'd say. Not only is he tight, he doesn't pay for his bins, so he goes around in the middle of the night on collection day and puts his rubbish in everybody else's bins. Yeah, horrible person. He then also goes through bins to find plastic balls to get the 15 cent back. And as a side note, he doesn't pick up his dog poop either. Yeah, horrible person.
Okay, yeah, this is potentially the winner. When you're foraging through your neighbour's bins like some sort of local raccoon, that's when it's over.
This will sound incredibly entitled for me, but are bins even that expensive? Like, I don't know what I pay, but I would never question not paying them.
To be honest, you've opened up Pandora's box there, my friend.
Oh.
Bins are bloody expensive and Panda are bastards. So, genuinely, after Christmas, it was like 90 snids for the green bin. It was bananas.
Really?
And that's probably why they find me, because I was putting bananas in the green bin. Brilliant. Classic refuse comedy there. Honestly, bins are expensive. So, yeah, you aren't in the right there. But is it not also an offence to be tampering with other people's bins?
Oh, it definitely is. But like, that's illegal dumping, surely.
Is it?
Well, like, if you catch somebody dumping stuff, like, surely it has to be considered illegal dumping.
Well, the foraging as well is just double perverted. I'd be like, sorry, Declan, what are you doing? Get away. Out with you. And then they're not picking up the dog shit as well. Good luck. However,
that's, yeah.
A dilemma I found myself in recently, and I wonder, have other dog owners found themselves in this position? And if so, what their protocol is. I had Bertie out the other evening on the green, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He had the runs.
Oh.
But, so without getting too graphic, there was nothing there to pick up.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But it was still coming out. So I don't know what to do in that scenario, because I sort of stand over him. I feign concern. I have the bag on the hand like a sort of lazy ventriloquist. Do you know what I mean? Just sort of over the right claw, ready to do something. But then there's nothing to pick up. So I sort of just wait until I'm sure that nobody's around and then walk on. But I feel guilty.
I mean, I think if it's that bad, like, you can only do so much. I think, though, what you should probably do is, you know, pick up a tuft of grass in your little bag, like, and make it look like you've made the effort, and then walk on.
Yeah. Okay, less of the dog shit, all with the good shit. Thank you so much for listening to the Weekly Roast, guys. I really and truly appreciate it. Forgive the consistent and repeated technological issues back at base in HQ. I've sent a strongly worded email to the powers that be. Nevertheless, thank you for joining us whilst I'm in Spain. Most importantly, tickets to Cork go live this Friday. Good stuff. I'm bringing it on the road. If you want to go, send me a message on Instagram and I will send you the link for tickets before they go live. Okie doke. On y va. Speak to you soon. Adios.
Mark Megan's Weekly Roast. Proudly supported by Cialis for Men. Erectile dysfunction? It's nothing to be ashamed of. Have a quick, discreet chat with your pharmacist about Cialis for Men. 10 milligram film-coated tablets, which contains tadalafil. Now available without prescription in pharmacies nationwide. Find out more at www.cialisformen.ie. To be taken at least 30 minutes prior to anticipated sexual activity. Always read the label. GoLoud.